Hi everybody, welcome to the third section of the React Native course. In this section we'll learn how to build a great user experience for our app. In this section we're going to take a look at the following topics. First of all, we'll see how we can add navigation to our app. We'll explain what makes a great UX for a mobile app. We'll build a couple of good UX-oriented components for our movies app. And finally, we'll learn how to test our components using Jest test framework. Welcome to the first video of the section 3, which is called Adding Navigation to Your App. In this video, we will introduce the app navigation for our mobile app. In this video, we're going to take a look at 3 important topics: how to install the library, how we can use the navigation API, and finally, we will integrate the navigation into our movies app. Let's start with the basics about installing React Navigation. React Navigation is the library we are going to use. It is a JavaScript-based navigation library built by the community for React Native. It is one of the recommended navigation libraries described in the React Native docs, along with native navigation and React Native navigation. It has support for both iOS and Android, providing similar animations and gesture of the platforms. I recommend everybody to use this navigation library if your app is simple, and try React Native navigation once you are comfortable enough with the navigation structure. As always, just run one of the commands above into our app folder to install the dependency. Okay, now that we have installed React Navigation, let's see what we can do with it. React Navigation comes with 3 default navigators where we can define our routes: the stack navigation, the tab navigation, and the drawer navigation. The most important ones are the stack and the tab navigators. Stack will put each screen we push on top of the previous one, and tab will define separate tabs that the user can switch on. In our case, we will use StackNavigator to being able to push movie detail screens when the user taps on a movie list item. For most of the apps out there, you will need to have both tab and stack navigation. This is why navigators can be nested to provide this kind of navigation behavior. When we define any navigation, we are declaring an object with the routes. Every time we navigate to one of those routes, a new prop called Navigator is inserted into our navigated component. This prop can be used to navigate to other screens, pass params, and more. This is an example of a stack navigator that contains one route, the movie list. The route entry name is a string that will be used to tell our navigator to go to one route or another. Also, the screen value must be a React component to render when we navigate to that route. There are more optional keys for each route, being navigation options one of the most important above all. The options can be used to define title, back buttons, customization of navigation bar, and more. Now assume that we want to build a more complex navigation with nested navigators. We want to have a route navigator with tabs and, inside each tab, a stack navigator. This is how we will do that, just using the stack navigator as a component in our tab navigator. Simple, right? Now, the last thing we want to explain about the React Navigation API is how we can actually navigate to another screen. This is done through the Navigator Prop and with the navigate function. We only need to pass the screen key and optional object with the params we want to pass. For more information, please refer to the official docs of React Navigator. Now that we know how React Navigation works, let's add some navigation to our Movies app. Let's see a demo about how we can integrate the navigation library into our Movies app. So, here we have our app running. I just included the navigation, so I'm going to explain a little bit about the files that we have changed. Let's go to the src folder and open the moviesapp.js. As you can see here, our Movies app just returns the Movies Navigator. This is a file we have created in the Movies directory. Let's check that file. This is the Movies Navigator.js file. It is inside the Navigators folder, inside the Movies folder. As we have said before, we are going to use StackNavigator, so we have imported StackNavigator from React Navigation. And inside here, we want to have 2 screens. First one is the movie list, which is the first screen that's going to be rendered. And the second one is the movie detail. We want to go from the movie list to a movie detail when we push into any of our movie cells. So our navigator is just a stack navigator with two entries, movie list and movie detail, and some navigation options. In this case, we just set a title for the movie list. Title is movies, and some header style with a custom font. In the movie detail, we are not setting any title. This is because we want the title to be the movie title. So now we have this hierarchy, but we need to navigate from the movies list to the movie detail. Let's see how we can do that. So here we have the movie list, and as I said before, any navigated component has a navigation prop, okay? So when we render each of the movie cell, we have an onPress handle, and this is the function we have defined. This onPress handle is very easy. It's just going to use the navigation prop and the navigate function into the navigation prop. So what this is going to do is going to use the navigate function and pass movie detail as a parameter along with the movie object. The movie detail is defined in our movies navigator as this key. So if we change this movie detail to movie detail 2, for instance, we had to change it here too. So this is how we navigate, and now let's see it in the real app. As you can see here, we have the movie title, we have also the back button, the gesture, just the classic gesture from iOS. It's not the native gesture, but it's a JS-based gesture that is very similar. And another one here, we can also press the back button. So that's it. That's how we can add navigation to our app. In this video, we covered 3 things about the app navigation: installation of the library React Navigation, the basic API of it, and a quick demo about how we can add navigation to our movies app.